Yeah, now it is.
Okay, it's done. All right. So yes, so as far as this training is concerned, we focused on all the important DevOps tools, open source DevOps tools, starting from the fundamentals of application development process, your Git, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Prometheus, Grafana, right? So now, as a DevOps engineer, what will be your day-to-day activities? Okay, how we are going to manage all these things in real-time environment, and how you're going to be able to automate all these things. That's what the next discussion.
Okay.
Day 10, and it's 29th of October. Okay. So in today's session, we'll see a complete review where you can able to put forward all your questions. What are the questions you have in all your previous modules? I can able to address your questions. All right. And also I would like to show you a demo of end-to-end CI/CD pipeline. When I say end-to-end, it is not just about your deployment to target environment. Once artifact is ready, you should know how to package that using Docker image, and then you should be able to deploy it to the Kubernetes cluster. That also matters. All right. So any questions here? Before that, do you have any doubts in any of the previous modules? Please let me know. You can take another 5-10 minutes time to recollect what are things we have covered. And if you have any queries or while practicing, you might face some challenges. If you need any guidance or support there, please let me know. I can help you there. Anything?
For system monitoring, likewise, yesterday I was not there actually after 12 because of this electricity issue. But Prometheus and Grafana along with Nagios is in demand. So I mean, if we can get a brief idea about Nagios how it works, then it should be fine.
Not only Nagios, okay. There are many tools available in market, which is on high demand when compared to Prometheus.
I mean,
Correct.
which one is like more demanding in industries right now?
So whatever it is, you should understand the fundamentals of monitoring, right?
Okay.
The architecture, whatever we discussed yesterday, the workflow, whatever we discussed yesterday, it is common for any monitoring tool. Only thing is depends upon the tool, depends upon that vendor, the user interface, and the commands might be differ, but the process is same. So all that you should understand is how the server, what is the capability of the server, what are things it can able to monitor, correct, and how frequently we can able to get the data feed from the monitoring tool. Whether the monitoring tool is having the capability for provisioning the infrastructure, configuring, monitoring the infrastructure and able to visualize it by using some intuitive graphs, or it is capable only for monitoring. Based upon all these things, we'll be assessing the tool and we'll be having regular connect with the vendor also to understand about their products and capabilities. And based upon that, we'll take a call which tool to be implemented. So if you're talking about Prometheus and all right, you have to rely on Grafana for visualization. Similarly, Nagios also. And like if you're talking about Dynatrace, it is having its own intuitive dashboards can be created. It is not having much dependency on Grafana. So whatever the multi tool you use, if it is a multi-platform, like if you have more than one multi tools available in infrastructure, let's say you are using a multi-cloud platform. In AWS, you'll be using AWS CloudWatch. In Azure, you'll be using Azure Monitors. So these are two different monitoring tools that is meant for its own infrastructure. So using AWS CloudWatch, you can monitor only the AWS related resources, right? Hope you can understand that scenario.
Yes.
So if you see my resource definitions here, I have some servers, and in my AWS console itself, if you noticed, whenever I select any server here, I can able to see the monitoring tab for that server, which will get me the CPU utilization or memory utilization or the network capability and the traffic, everything. So from where these charts are getting designed means it is designed and populated by using the service called CloudWatch in AWS. Similarly, in Azure also we have the same. So in Azure, we have something called Azure portal.azure.com. So from here, you can able to get into your Azure services. I think it will take some time to log in, no problem. So there also we have something called Azure Monitor. So that is also capable to monitor the infrastructure. So in the multi-cloud platform, you have two different monitoring tools now. And as a monitoring team, if you want to visualize all the things in a single panel, you want one tool to monitor both AWS and then cloud platform. Azure means in that case, you can go with the Grafana. So using Grafana, you can able to create some intuitive dashboards for both your what do you call that, AWS and Azure. That makes a difference. And not only that, the alert mechanism, how frequently it can able to alert the users and what are various modes of alert. Everything defines the capability of the tool. Got it?
Yes.
I can see only few members here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 6 members are here. Others, any network problem or what? Okay. Any other questions, guys? I just give you time. Just recollect and let me know if you have any queries on any of the modules. Did you get chance to practice all the modules like Jenkins, Docker, Ansible? Have you practiced it? Kubernetes only yesterday we completed, but at least Docker level you must have done, right?
Yeah, till Docker and Ansible has been done, but till this monitoring tool is yet to remain. So we'll do it this week.
All right. So what we'll do now? Shall I directly get into the demo now?
Yes, I.
Me terminate it. I want to make it more interactive here, please, because these things I expect inputs from you people. Based upon your inputs, I'm going to design the architecture now. Okay. So if you wish to have a very interactive session, it will be very much good actually. Okay, because it's complete demo, right? How we are going to plan our DevOps implementation that matters. I don't know in which server I have created it, which account it is there. Mm, I don't have any Jenkins server now. Okay, I need to create it again. Let's try it out. Yetta. Okay, at least we have Kubernetes cluster. That's good. Okay, so remaining servers are not required. All right. So I'm going to launch 2 instances now. All right, guys. So we can leverage the same servers. Okay, whatever we have here, we can able to leverage the same thing. There is no issues. But the point here is what you're going to plan here. Before let's say, I'll just talk about some real-time scenarios. Consider I have an application team who are working for their web application development, and they want to automate their builds and deployments through Jenkins process. So we have to onboard that application for DevOps process now. So in order to achieve that, how we'll proceed means first we'll be doing whenever you get a requirement to onboard any application for DevOps, first we'll do a detailed assessment. So during the assessment phase, we'll try to understand what is their actual work, what are the tools they use to develop their application, what are tools they use to test their application, and tools to build their application deployment purpose, and how they're deploying it, whether they deploy it directly as a package application package or they want to deploy it as a image application image, and in which platform they want to deploy, whether they want to deploy it in a VM or they want to deploy it in a Kubernetes cluster. So like this, there are a lot of questions will be addressed during the assessment phase. Once you get a clear information about the current application development process and deployment process, then we'll be coming up with a strategy, DevOps approach. So during this DevOps approach, we'll be providing them a solution, how to automate the process. So just tell me one thing, like I have a web application, Java, Maven, a web application, assume for example. My requirement is to automate the build and deployment to Kubernetes cluster. So what are the prerequisites here? To achieve this, what are the requirements? Prerequisites means I'm talking about the infrastructure level. So on infrastructure level, how many servers you need? And how to integrate with each other. So can you able to address all these questions now? If you can provide me a solution, I can able to take it further. Like this is how we plan, right? Whenever you want to deploy any application, how you can able to deploy it? First, we have to build it. So how we can build it? How many servers we need to build? What are tools you're going to use for build activity? Can you able to address these questions, please? If you can put in chat window also, it's fine. If you don't want to unmute your line, if you want to put in chat window also, you can put in chat window, please. I'll give you another 2 minutes. Please try to put all your findings in chat window. Because before you go for implementation, right, ultimately the net result is to create your CI/CD pipeline to automate this activity. So to create and run the CI/CD pipeline, I need some infrastructure, right? That's what the requirement here. So first we have to fulfill the infrastructure requirement. Once infra is ready with all the required tools, then we can able to quickly create a CI/CD pipeline and run it there. So please let me know how many servers you need, what is the purpose of each and every server, and in each and every server, what are tools you're going to install. Can you?
Yeah, first, like, let's say if we want to automate this build, so we might have that Jenkins master, then Tomcat web app server. Now, for that installation, we come up with the prerequisite like, Java and Maven. So, I mean, we install that Maven as like for the configuration as well. Now, for Kubernetes, we can manage with the Kubernetes master and slave node cluster. I mean, one Kubernetes master and many requirement as per the requirement, we can have two or more than two slave nodes. For integration point of view, um, like if we use Terraform to automate the infrastructure using the script, then we can, you know, we can deploy the script and build this server as well. I mean, Jenkins master,
Mm-hmm.
then Kubernetes, cluster. But if in standalone applications, we can use this manually, I mean, each of the server and then integrate them.
Okay. How about others? I
Okay.
want to.
Yeah. So first we will get to know like how they have designed their application. Is it like microservice kind of or single on single VM?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if it is microservice, then we will get to know like how many servers they have used for each service. In that case, we will get to know like how many VMs are there and purpose of each VM.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. After that, then yeah, then tools like build tools and then Jenkins to
Okay. Okay.
build the yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can you all do one thing, please? If you're all available online, right? I expect feedback from everyone. You can put in chat window. Okay. I'll give you a 2 minutes time also. I want to see each and everyone's response here. If, okay. Just put in chat window. What are things you understood? Then only I get to know, right? So I got your point. Both of you are sharing your inputs. It's all closely related to the requirement. I expect the same from others also. Like what you understood in last 10 days of training program, just wanted to understand from my end. So you can take your time. Just take 2 minutes time. Think about it. You got my question right, first of all. So I need a response for all these 3 pointers. Assume that it is a microservice architecture. Assume that they have a very well designed application development, test and deployment process, but they were doing it manually so far. Now they want to automate this activity. We are just going to automate it. You don't need to deploy on the entire application level. At least take one microservice and work on it. So just to automate one service, build an deployment, automate deployment, what are things needed here? That's what the question. Can I expect the chat window now from all? I can see one response now. Thanks for that. Shall we? Yes, I can see some better responses now. Okay. So this is what the point actually. So I can see people are talking about Tomcat server configuration. We have to have a Tomcat server and all, right? So you should understand the workflow now. Thanks for those inputs. So let's say whenever I talk about the infrastructure provisioning, right? Here I'm going to decide how many servers I need. So in order to automate my CI/CD pipeline through Jenkins, definitely I need a Jenkins master. And along with that, I need a Jenkins slave node. Correct. So this is meant for purposes to build my application. And this is to create and schedule the Jenkins jobs. So this is the purpose of these two servers. So you are saying like you need to have a QA server, right? The Tomcat server. So if you want to maintain a Tomcat server like this is meant for deployment purpose. You can simply create a build and deploy it. That is what we did in even a Jenkins module, if you can recollect. But my requirement is, it is a microservice architecture. I want to integrate my Kubernetes. It means I'm not going to deploy anything in the VM. I want deployed in the Kubernetes cluster. So for that, first I have to create an image out of this application. So as part of the build activity, what I'll get, I'll be getting the war file, like my app.war file. So once I get the war file, I'll be performing the Docker build. And with this Docker build, I can able to create an image like my app v1.0. This is the image I've created, and this has to be published to Docker Hub. Correct? Hope you're getting the workflow now. So this is the main purpose of this slave node. So whenever you create application build, it creates artifacts. Based upon artifact, create a Docker image and publish Docker image Docker Hub. So once the image is available in Docker Hub, what you can do, you can able to deploy it to the Kubernetes cluster. For that, I need Kubernetes master, and I can have Kubernetes worker node 1 and worker node 2, something like this. So I think for our requirement, these 5 servers, 5 VMs are more than sufficient. So this is what 5 VMs are identified, and purpose of each and everything. This is meant for deployment. And how these tools, what are the tools installed? Like for example, in Jenkins master, I need to install JDK, right? My JDK, I need to install Git and then Jenkins. Similarly, in my slave machine, what are things we need to install? In slave machine, what are things we can install?
JDK and Git.
Maven,
That's it. JDK, Git, and
JDK,
Maven. Yeah,
Git, Maven,
Maven,
and
that's it.
Docker, Docker also.
yes, Docker is like, because we're going to perform some Docker build, right? We need Docker. Apart from that, okay. And similarly, in Kubernetes master and worker nodes, you know what to do, what are things to be installed. Okay.
There is a lot of
So in my infrastructure, I already have Kubernetes nodes, like master nodes available. So all that I need is I need a Jenkins master and slave now. So let me clean up all the unwanted servers, which is already there. Okay, correct enough. Okay, target server means what do you mean by target server? Okay, anyway, let it be. So now let me launch 2 instances. So we can use the previous version of Ubuntu as like what we did in our Jenkins module. Yeah. So I can have a Ubuntu previous version and T2 micro and keypair, whatever I have, I can use the same. And yeah, 2 instances we can launch now. So I can simply refer it as a build server. Why? Because I'm not just going to build my application. I'm also going to build a Docker image, right? So let's consider this as a node, a build server. So let me log into those machines now. Yeah, this is my Jenkins master. And one more important thing is I want to configure the security group. Let's enable port 8080, or what are the ports we want, we can able to enable it by using auto or all traffic. Let me add all traffic now. Guys, please be interactive, otherwise I'll be losing my interest. So we have 2 servers up and running. So I just want to log into this machine. So this is Jenkins master and this is Jenkins build server. What is it? Ubuntu. So now let's proceed with the installation. So all that I can do is I can update the package first, apt update -y. In Jenkins master I'm doing now. So we can refer the same document, okay? Whatever we used in our installation process initially, we can use the same thing. So updates are ready. So let me install JDK here. Open JDK 11 and then versioning. It's done. So now I can check for Git also. Git is also available here. It's there. So now what I can do, I can go and install my Jenkins. So I'll be downloading the packages, IO keys, and downloading the repositories, whatever I have here from that URL. And then updating the packages. And then installing Jenkins. So now Jenkins is installed and it is creating as a startup service. Actually, last week only I cleaned up all these servers. That's why I'm recreating it unnecessarily. Otherwise, we can directly get into the CSD pipeline process. All the things are known activity, right? You are already comfortable in all those things, right? Okay. So my Jenkins is installed here. It's done. And I can able to get the details from cd ar/lib/Jenkins. There's a path where we can able to see Jenkins directories. So now what I can do, I can get into my, what do you call that, system and try to unlock my Jenkins. So already I enabled the port number. So directly I can able to log into my Jenkins server using port 8080. So in order to access this, it is asking for my credentials here, right? Initial login password. So okay. Yes, it is up and running. I don't have any problem here. Okay. So what I can do means it is asking for the password. So I can directly take the password from here and update it here. We proceed. And now let me install all the suggested plugins. It might take some time. So in the meantime, I can configure my build server. So in this build server, we have to install our JDK, right? JDK and other stuff. So I'll be doing the same activity here also. Right.
Sai, if
So
the time
once Maven is
permits,
installed, sorry.
if the time permits, then can you please show us this, like, using, I mean, whatever we do in Terraform, we did in Terraform, so we can do it over here. I mean, if time permits, otherwise it's okay.
In Terraform, we just launched the instance, right? You
Yeah,
have
so
a
we
script,
can.
you can able to use the same, no problem. Even instead of launching it manually, I could have done it through Terraform script also. That's not an issue. So now that we have a script ready, we're just trying to configure it, installing it now. So if you want, you can achieve all these things through Ansible. But for that, you have to write a playbook and all. It's not required. Okay, we have a command here. We can directly implement it. So now in my build server, I just install JDK and I'm going to install my what is it called, Maven. Maven. And once Maven is installed, I can able to validate the version of Maven. It's available. This is what the installation path. It is picking up the JDK, whatever we installed. So now my build server is also ready. I think Git is also available in that machine by default. Okay. So now in my Jenkins master, I think this is still under progress. Yeah, it's completed. So now what we can do, we can create a user here. Create a simple user and let it be same URL. So now we have created the servers, right? That's what we did. So we have created the server and we have installed the required tools in the server. Both Jenkins master and Slave machines, the tools are installed. Now, how we can able to manage the Jenkins server? In Jenkins server, we need to install some plugins. So if you go to manage Jenkins and from system, what do you call the tools perspective, we should have some tools configured. So let me install a plugin for that. I need a Maven plugin. Sorry, under availables tab, I can search for Maven integration. Similarly, if you want, you can able to use publish over SSH. These two. So I want to install these two plugins. So it is installing Maven as well as publish plugin, and upon installation, I want to restart the Jenkins server. Right. Okay. So now that we have configured our server, If I refresh this page, I think it is restarting. Fine. So now that I can see the tools are installed, I can go to Manage Jenkins again. And from Manage Jenkins, I should be able to see, I can able to configure the tools for Maven. My response is low today. Add Maven. So I can use a Maven version directly. So this is Maven 3.6.3. And it is using this path. This is the default directory where we have Maven home directory. That's it. So simply apply the changes. So this is how we just fulfilled all the tools requirement, right? As per my pointers here. So first thing is we have to take care of the servers, how many servers we need. And once the servers are defined, we need to identify the tools and it should be installed. Now, how we're going to integrate it? So for the integration purpose, first we have to add the slave machine as a node to Jenkins master. So the slave machine should have a valid user here. So let me create a user ID and create SS keys, and I can share the SS key to the Jenkins master now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. So I can use the same approach. Like I can create a user by the same command, whatever we used earlier. And log into that user. And upon login, you can create a key. And once the key is ready, you can create authorized key out of it. And sorry. And once it is done, you can able to restrict the access of the key to the user or owner of the key. That's it. So now that we have created the key and the system is ready for access. Okay. So that's it. So now what we can do, we can able to go to our Jenkins master under manage Jenkins. I can get into the node configurations. And here I can go into add a new node. So before I create a new node, if I want, I can able to maintain all the credentials, because before we integrate anything, first you have to take care of the user and the credentials, right? So from the manage Jenkins itself, we have something called credential management. So go to credential management and under global, you can add credential. So here I'm going to use a credential for my slave node first. So let me add a credential. It is of SSH username with private key. And the ID, I can simply say like build server credentials. Keys. Okay. I can use the same description and username is DevOps admin, right? So I want to log into that machine as a DevOps admin. So username is DevOps admin and the key, whatever I need, I can directly add it here. So let me go to my build server and cat that ID underscore RSA, take the key and have it here. That's it. So like this, we can able to create any number of credentials in the credential manager. So this is the very first credential we are going to create for build server as a key and create this. It's available now. So once this is available, I can get to my Jenkins master manage Jenkins and node configuration, adding a node, and I can simply say like this is my Java app build server. Make it as permanent agent and create it. And I can have 2 executors here. And what's the remote directory I can use means I can able to refer the same home directory. So here itself, I want to create a workspace, so I can add it here as a remote home directory. And the label for this is let it be a slave node 1. This is just a label, unique label that you can assign for this node. And then launch method is by using SSH. And the host machine, take the private IP address of the machine. Build server's private IP address and give it here. And the credential, which we just created. And host key verification strategy can be manually trusted verification strategy. And it requires a manual verification for initial connection. That's it. So with all these parameters, okay, we can proceed. So since it is a manual host key verification strategy, it will wait for my approval to proceed. That's why it is a trusted SSH key, host key. So if you say yes, then it will get into the machine, try to identify the authorized keys. If keys are found, automatically my slave will be up and running. Got it? So it is launched now with 2 executors. So quickly we can able to launch the nodes also. So now that I have a server ready with my activities. But one thing I'm missing in my slave machine is Docker, right? So as per the requirement, we have to install Docker in the slave node. That's what we have planned. We just installed Maven, let's install Docker also here. So for the installation of Docker, it's very simple. apt install docker.io. Easy. This we are going to install it in build server. Oh, sorry, it is a DevOps admin, right? So let me exit from here. So as a root user, you can run the command. Okay. As a root user, we can able to run the command. So it is under execution. It is installing Docker and it is going to start the Docker service. And once the service is ready, all that we can do is we can simply go ahead and verify the Docker service. And one important point here is the Docker is installed by the root user. But in Jenkins slave machine, I want to work or I want to handle the builds, everything using a DevOps admin user. So DevOps admin user, whatever we created now should have access to Docker, right?
Yes.
Right? So all that we should do is we should able to add that user. Okay, we should able to add that user to Docker group. That is very important. So I'll just show you how to do that. Where is it? Still it's not responding out. Okay. So yeah, it's done now. So what I was explaining is here, if I say Docker PS, I can able to access the Docker command as a root user. But if I do the same as a, what do you call it, DevOps admin, I don't have access, permission denied. That means DevOps admin is not having access to Docker engine, right? But my requirement is through my Jenkins server, I want to interact with the build server, and as a DevOps only, I want to perform all sort of build activities. So all that you need to do is we have to add this DevOps admin user to Docker group. So to do that, there is a small command. You can run it as a root user. So just exit from here. Okay. So as a root user, you can maybe give a command. sudo user mod command, user mod -ag followed by the group name. So here the group name is Docker. Got it? And then which user you want to add, you can specify username DevOps admin. So this command what it's going to mean, it is going to add the DevOps admin user to Docker group. That's it. Now, if you say su DevOps admin, and if I say Docker PS, I can able to handle Docker as a DevOps admin user. So this is something important. Please take care of it. Right. So now that we have our build server ready, and we are ready with our node configurations also. So what you're going to do here, we are going to create a CSD pipeline, right? So this pipeline is going to perform the SCM checkout, perform the automated build, and create an image, and deploy it to the Kubernetes environment. So here comes the infrastructure. The Kubernetes infrastructure is required here. Like I was talking about the Kubernetes, right? That is also matters. So all that we can do here is, let me start the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So let me log into my Kubernetes cluster master first. And here, if I say kubectl get nodes, I should be able to get the response. But in this machine, I don't have any other users, right? So I want to connect my Kubernetes master. That means I'm going to integrate this with Jenkins master. Kubernetes master should be integrated with Jenkins master, but I don't want to use a root user ID. I just want to create a dedicated user here. So here also you can able to create one users. Like how we create a user here, we can able to create a dedicated user here. So let me create one DevOps admin user in Kubernetes master node. And then I can get into the user. What we'll do? Okay, we'll do one thing. Exit from here. Let me create a password because this is required. So I'll give a password for this user. Okay. And enable password-based authentication. One second, let me enable the password-based authentication for this user. So why? Because normally we use kubectl commands, right? That is done as a root user. So how the root user got access to that command? Any guess? How the root user got access to that command? Guys? Hello, am I audible to all? Hello, mic testing.
Yeah.
We have configured a Kubernetes, and in Kubernetes, we are trying to run all the kubectl commands as a root user. So my question is, how the root user gain access to kubectl?
Because he's the admin, right? He has all the rights to.
Is it so? Hmm? Is it so? So as part of your kube ADM init command, what we did? Guys, as part of kube ADM init command, what we did?
Initialized the API.
We have initialized the Kubernetes master, and then it has given given some set of instructions, right, to create a configuration folder, and in this configuration folder to keep a configuration file, and then change the mode of the user ownership. Remember,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So all these things are required. Okay, because of that command only, the root user can able to access the Kubernetes config and run the kubectl commands. Similarly, now in this machine, I have created one user called DevOps admin user, and this DevOps admin user should able to access that particular kubectl commands. So now let me show you one thing here. I just create a user. So let me log into the user su-devops admin. And now as a DevOps admin user, if I say kubectl get nodes, see, it refused. It refused the request. Why? Because this user is not having access to that. So all that we should do here is we are going to execute the same set of instructions. So if you recollect my last day's Kubernetes installation process, in this file, upon initialization, right, where it is. So once you give kubeadm init, it is recommending us to create this directory for that home path and then change the ownership of the config file, right? So this has to be executed for that particular DevOps admin level. Okay, that matters. So now that we have updated it, and if you say kubectl get nodes, now I can able to access it. Easy. So it is purely depends upon the server. In your build server, to access your Docker, we have added the user, DevOps admin user to Docker group. Similarly, in your Kubernetes environment, to give access to the DevOps admin user, we should ensure that this DevOps admin user home directory have the config file. This is very important. Based upon this only, even your root user also can able to run the kubectl commands. If you go to the root directory, if I say ls-a, can you able to see this .kube? Under that you can see config. This is what a config file we have. Similarly, if I exit from here and as a root user, if I say ls-a, there also I should be able to see the same folder which we executed in the initial stages. Remember, so this is something you need to take care while working on your Kubernetes master with different user ID. Easy? Hope you
Yeah,
are.
this I understand. What about the Docker group? I didn't get that. Like
Means
in build server.
I have showed you that, right?
Yeah,
In
I showed, but
build
the
server,
group is different.
see, Docker is a group actually.
Okay. For Docker, we are giving DevOps admin
See,
permission to access.
if you are clear with this process, if you want, I can share some command here. If you say cat etc/group, you can able to see the list of groups created in this machine.
Okay.
Okay. And when you install Docker, Docker group also created. Similarly, when you create any user, for each and every user, there will be user group created.
Okay.
So for the Docker group got created and it is meant for its initial work. That is, as a root user who installed it, for that user ID, they'll be having a process. They can able to work on it. If you want to use this Docker group by any other user, means that user should be part of this group.
You're just adding that
So that is the
admin into
reason.
this group.
Yes, that's the reason I just use a command, user mod, add group name followed by the DevOps admin user ID.
Okay.
It's a very basic
Now,
Linux command.
okay, got it.
So now this user is part of this group. So he also can able to access any Docker commands. That was the requirement.
Okay.
Easy. So now that our build server is ready, our Kubernetes master also ready with the users, with all the access, everything is done. And already I configured my Kubernetes master slave node with my Kubernetes Jenkins master. So now I'm going to connect my Kubernetes master with Jenkins master. So for that, I'm getting into Jenkins, manage Jenkins. And go to your system configuration. And in system configuration, if you slightly scroll down, and go till the end also. So you have something called publish or SSH. So you can use the same approach. Okay, you can click on add server. And what is the server you're going to add? You can able to add it here. But before that, if you want to create a credential, you can able to create it as like how we create for slave machine. Or you can directly hard code the credential here. That's not an issue. So now the point is we are going to give a name as Kubernetes. And the host name, the private IP address is this one. And the username is DevOps admin. And what is the home directory? Where I want to manage I can use the same home directory for this DevOps admin also. And if you click on advanced, enter the credentials, you can give the key here. So just go to your Kubernetes master, cd to that path. Did we create a key or not? Okay, we haven't created, right? We just executed the things. So let me execute this command and create the key first. And then let me authorize the key. And let me give access only to that user. That's it. Okay. So now that we have created the user and the key is also available. So now let me cat that file id_rsa and I'm going to grab this key. In this key field. That's it. So now if I try to check for the connection, I expect it should be successful. Yep, it's successful now. So it's very simple. As like how you configure your QA server in Jenkins Master, similarly, we're going to configure Kubernetes Master in Jenkins Server using publish OSS plugin. Hostname private IP address of the Kubernetes Master, DevOps admin home directory. Apply the changes. Okay. So what is the purpose of integrating your Kubernetes master to Jenkins master? Any idea? Any guess?
Well, when we use that public over SSH protocol, I mean plugin, so through that we can send the package to the other remote server, right? So here, once we integrate it using SSH, so we can be able to send the artifacts, so whatever the builds we have in Jenkins master, I mean slave node, and deploy it on the Kubernetes cluster.
So what do you mean by build here?
Where?
The WAR files.
Yeah, more files.
Are we going to deploy the WAR file in Kubernetes master?
No, no, no.
No, we don't deploy it actually. We just send that package on that, and then from there we implement the application.
Where you'll be sending that package?
Docker Hub.
So in your slave machine, okay, in your slave machine, you'll be creating your image, right? And that will be published to Docker Hub. And from Docker Hub directly, you can able to pull the image and deploy it in the form of pods or deployment control objects, right? So the point here is, in order to create any pod or any deployment controller object or any service, you need a manifest file, correct? Remember, in Kubernetes, that's what we did, no?
Yes, yes.
So that manifest file, where are you going to maintain?
In Jenkins master.
How you maintain Jenkins master?
In CI/CD path, like in building project.
See, when you perform in a CI/CD process, right? What are stages we can have here? Now it will be clear for you. In CI/CD process, I can do SCM checkout. And then I can perform my application build. And then I can perform my Docker build. And then I can publish
to Docker Hub.
To Docker Hub. And from there I can able to deploy to Kubernetes, right? This is what the basic flow. In between, if you have any approval process, that's all secondary. So now if you look into this, to perform the Docker build, what I need, or to perform the application build, what I need a source code, right? And similar to perform Docker build, I need a Docker file, correct? Hope you remember.
Yes.
And similarly, to perform your deployment in Kubernetes, you need the manifest file. So where you're going to maintain all these things, it will be in a source code repository. As part of the source code repository, we'll be having an application source code, and then we'll be having a Docker file and then manifest file. So it's a developer's responsibility to create a Docker file, I told you, remember? So they'll be having Docker file as part of source code repository and manifest file. So now my actual question is, what is the purpose of integrating your Jenkins master with Kubernetes master? That's what my question. So ultimately, when you run the build, your Jenkins master will schedule the build to slave machine. It means this SCM source code repository will be copied into this slave machine, which copies the manifest file there, right? From GitHub repository, this manifest will be copied into the slave machine. Hope you are following this.
Yeah.
So as part of SCM checkout, along with source code, your manifest file also will be available in your slave machine. Now, upon application build and Docker build, everything is done. If you want to deploy that particular image in Kubernetes cluster, you need this manifest file. So what you're going to do means, using Jenkins master, you're going to copy the manifest file from the slave machine into the Kubernetes master. So we're not going to copy the artifacts. We're just going to copy the manifest file that you have downloaded in slave machine to this Kubernetes master. For the purpose, we just attach our Kubernetes master to Jenkins master. Easy. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. Now that we have the things ready, and one more important thing here is once the build is completed, you want to publish to Docker Hub, right? So to publish Docker Hub, what is the prerequisites here?
The Docker Hub account and
Yes, Docker Hub account and
We
and
have that plugin installed.
again.
I mean, the user authentication of user, which user is performing.
So normally when you try to push any image to Docker Hub, first you will do a Docker login command, right?
yes,
Remember, you will be giving Docker login, and once login is complete, then you will be giving a command like Docker
Docker push.
followed by the image name.
Yes.
So in order to log into Docker Hub, what you need?
That key, which is that 16, some we'll be creating, right? In that Docker
Great.
Hub.
The access key
Yes.
or the token is mandatory here. That's what expected. Okay. So the to perform Docker publish, we need access key. So all that you should do is you should get into your Docker Hub and create the access key. So let me log into my Docker Hub now to create the access key. So I believe you must be knowing how to create access key here. Just go to your account settings and from your account setting itself, you can able to navigate to security panel, and from security panel, you can directly give a key, new access token. So this is for my CI/CD demo. Generate this. So this is what the token key we received it. So let me bookmark it, save it here. And this is the command we use. Let it be there. I can use it any point of time. So now I got the credential. So user ID is Loksa ETA. This is what the user ID. So all that I need to do here is I need to create a credential in Jenkins master with these things. So in Jenkins master, where is it? Under manage Jenkins, if you go to credential manager, use global credentials and add credential. So here we are going to create a credential for Docker Hub. So it can be the default type, username with password, and the username is this one, Loksa ETA, that is my Docker login account ID, and the password is whatever I've generated here. This is the token. And ID, it can be anything for your reference, like how you want to identify this token. Okay. How you're going to identify this token, that you can able to mention here as a ID. So I can simply select Docker login ID. Okay. And the description also, it can be the same. Simple. So whenever you try to access any remote server or any remote application, if that requires any credential, all the credentials can be upfront created under the manage credentials. If you want to keep your username as secret, just enable this. That's it. So now you can see the Docker login has been created. It is not exposing the user ID because I made the user ID as secret. So now that we have the things ready, got it? So what are things needed? We have the things ready. So next step is to create a CI/CD pipeline. Anything you need here apart from this, or do you think anything I missed? Yes. Okay. So to work on CI/CD pipeline, you can able to refer this script. So I've already created a script for CI/CD pipeline. Okay, this is for some other project. So we can very well utilize the same. So I'm going to I'll first explain these stages, what are things we're going to have here, then I'll implement it. So we have a pipeline that is going to identify this agent as slave node 1 and the tools, whatever you configure in global configuration, we can give here. And we have a stage called SCM checkout stage, which is going to perform the SCM checkout from the source code repository. So if you look into the source code repository here, so this repository, it is having a application source code. It's just a web application. It is having a small index.html page and it is having the application source code, whatever it is. And not only that, it is also having a Docker file. As I said already, if you want to work in a Docker build activity to perform Docker build, we need a Docker file. So this Docker file also will be part of source code repository. So it's something like this. It is going to use a Tomcat as image as a base. And what are the artifacts we are creating in our host machine? It is going to get copied to the target container volume using copy instruction and exposing it to port 8080. And not only this, we also need a manifest file for Kubernetes deployment control object. So that file also available here. If you want, I can copy this into your notepad and show you. I'll do one thing. I'll just add one YAML file. Something went wrong. No. Okay, just for reference. This is also not a good editor here. I don't like. Okay, so anyways, if you can see here, this is my manifest file. Listen, please. So this is a manifest file which helps to create a Kubernetes deployment control object. So we have API version as app/v1 and the type is deployment and metadata that is going to identify the name of the deployment control object and the label. And under specification, I'm going to have a replicas. And within a replicas, I can have a template. Not within replica, at the same level, I can have a template. This template is going to define my container specification and the pod definitions, everything. And how this deployment object is going to identify the template means by using the label which I created in the template. This label is mandatory here. So for that, we use a selector. And once you create a deployment object, it is going to create a replica of these pods and get deployed it. But once it is deployed, if I want to access it through my web browser, what I need? If I want to expose your application to internet, what we need?
Node port service.
Expose node port service.
Yes, we need a node port service, right? So yesterday we create for a pod. So the same node port service can be created using this manifest file definition here. So yesterday what we did is ad hoc mode. Apart from that, if you want to create it the same with the manifest file, means the same format. So API version is v1 for service and kind is service. And specify the name of the service you're going to create and the label for the service. And under specification, we are going to give the selector. The selector means for which deployment control object you're going to create the service, that deployment control object's label should be given here as a selector. I repeat, yesterday also I told you, you can have n number of replicas, pod replicas, but for all these replicas, we can have only one node port service, can be more than sufficient. So how your replicas of pods are connected to a service means by using the label of the particular object. So the label whatever used for the deployment object name, with the same label name, I can able to refer my service here. And what type of service it is? Of node port service. And node port will be having 3 levels of port. One is the actual node port that starts with 30,000 range. If you are sure about the node port means you can able to give the value here directly. If you're sure that this port is available, you can able to give it. But if you're not sure about it, you can just simply ignore this parameter. Automatically at runtime, it will generate one node port value and you can make use of it. And whenever we create any service, by default, the service will be having a port. And that service port will be always equivalent to a target port. The target port is nothing but your container port, whatever you are saying here. Clear? So in general, whenever you create any service, it can be your load balance service or cluster IP service or a node port service, it will be having its own port, which is same as like your target port. And in addition to that, if it is a node port service, means you'll be getting a node port value here, which is used for exposing your pod to internet. Easy? So in this case, if you look into the container specification, I have used the container name and the image name. The image, whatever I'm going to create as part of this container, that image name I'm going to give here. Okay. And how I'll create this image and what is the Docker file used to create the image, I'll show you now. Before that, is there any question in this? You guys have any question in this manifest file?
No, not from manifest. I mean, how we can copy this manifest file to the Kubernetes? I mean, from the source code repository.
That is what we're going to do your pipeline, right? Through pipeline, we can able to do that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll show you that. So now if you look into this pipeline here, I was just talking about the SCM checkout stage. In this SCM checkout stage, it will download this repository into your slave machine, the slave machine, right? So what are the contents of this repository means? It contains source code along with your Docker file and Kubernetes, everything's available here. Okay. And once it is downloaded, what is the next step? What is the next step we want to perform? Obviously, it's a build, right? So if you can see this, obviously you can do an application build. So in application build, we are going to use the same Maven command. The source code, whatever we have in a repository in that working directory, it will get build and package will be created. So on what basis the build is going to happen and what is the name of a package we're going to create? That is decided by the pom.xml file. So in your source code repository, we have something called pom.xml file. And here you can able to see something like the artifact details. Like this is what the name of the artifact ID and the package type is war file. It is a Java servlet application, which is going to have JUnit dependencies and it is going to perform automated unit testing also. So this is what the artifact ID that is going to create as part of this package creation. And once it is done, in the next stage, we are going to perform the Docker build. So this Docker build, it is just like a shell command, okay? Like normally we use this command to perform Docker build, right, in a machine. So Docker build -t followed by the image name. So here, when I create an image, I want to create the image based upon the build number for my versioning. Like we can able to create an image with some tag, right? The tag, it can be your build number for this reason. And once the build is completed, I just want to quickly check if the image is created or not from the console itself. And then I want to tag it with the latest. What are the builds images we created? I just want to tag it with the latest thing. And in the next stage, I'll be logging to my Docker Hub. So to log into Docker Hub, I'll be using the credential manager. If you remember, we have just created a credential for Docker login. So I just want to use that credential using my environmental variable. Docker hub underscore credential is the environmental variable. I just want to assign this value to that environment variable. And using that environment variable, I want to handle the username and password. So Docker login -u followed by the user ID and the password, whatever we coded in this environment variable. Why? Because at any point of time, you're not supposed to expose the credentials. Okay. If you are talking about the what is that called, password-based authentication or token-based authentication, if it is a key-based authentication, then it is different. Your SS will take care of it. But if it is a password-based authentication or token-based authentication, you are not supposed to expose the credentials directly. We are not supposed to hard code the credentials in the pipeline. That is the reason we just handle it through an environment variable called Docker hub underscore credential, which will just have the identifier. PSW means the password. Similarly, USR is a username. Okay. And once the login is completed, in the next stage, I'm going to issue a Docker push command. Docker push followed by the image name. The image, whatever we have created here, that image will be published to my Docker hub upon login. And once it is published to Docker hub, in the last stage, I'll be deploying it to my, it's a QA server, right? If you want, you can able to maintain as a deploy it to Kubernetes. Like this. And you can able to generate the script for Kubernetes and attach all the required components there. It's possible. Are you able to understand the workflow?
Yes.
Guys, any question on this? So it is just a basic workflow. Okay, if you want, you can able to improvise it. You can able to make any number of changes. You can able to add any number of levels. Like for example, if you look into this approach here, it is considered as a continuous deployment approach, right?
Can you please open that pom.xml file?
Yes.
Over here, I just want to know the version of, in the tags, like at the end of the file. It should be up to date, or whatever we receive from the developer should be fine, because sometimes when we execute this file, I mean, in this pom.xml, when we implement this file, then it throws an error. Please go down. Yeah, over here I'm talking about this Maver War plugin, right? So it should be of this version, or whatever we receive from developer, or it should be matching as per
See,
the.
these plugins, whatever we use, what are the dependencies of plugins we use in the pom.xml file, it will be provided by the developer. And these versions are getting downloaded from the Maven repository. Okay. And error occurs if the version is not available in the Maven repository, or as per the standard, if this version is not properly validated, you'll be getting an error. So as a best practice, what we do means, before the application design, before the application, during the application design, right, they'll be doing a detailed analysis of this dependencies. What are the versions they want to use, whether the version is available in the Maven repository or not, and
We
whether
can
the
check.
version is compatible or not. Everything will be verified from the development team, and that is what
Okay.
we'll be throwing here. We'll be using it in our pom.xml file.
So as an intermediary, if we want to check, cross verify for this version in repository, how we can do that for this Maven repository? Once we install the Maven, right?
It is not about Maven. It is about the dependencies of Maven.
Okay. But how we can check that? If we have to.
See, we have a Maven repository actually. Okay, if you want, I can share the link. So, 1 second, let me log into that. Okay, So this is what the URL, mvn_repository.com. So from this repository, you can able to search for anything like JUnit they have used in the script, right? You can search for JUnit, and this is what JUnit dependency they want to download. So if you're looking to the pom.xml file, they just have JUnit dependency. Dependency as JUnit. They use 4.12 version. So you can able to verify it from here. 4.12 is available here, right?
Yes.
Similarly, we can able to verify if this version is available or not. So once the version is available, they can able to use it. But if that version is having any vulnerabilities, means it will be captured by using a SonarQube analyzer. That is the next level of validation. That means developer, they can able to give their own version. They will not have any clue about whether it is having vulnerabilities or whether it is free from errors, vulnerabilities. So all these things through DevOps, we can able to capture. So in real-time environment, we'll be implementing the SonarQube server. SonarQube is basically used for code quality standard verification as well as to ensure the code is free from all vulnerabilities and threats. So it will be captured in code quality analysis, and it won't allow you to proceed further. Like that, we can able to maintain some gate. It happens very frequently, okay? But whenever they start a release, whenever they create a POM.xml file, definitely they will review everything. Second level of review, we are going to do it through our SonarQube analyzer. That's it. We are not concerned about the version. Version, if it is not there, job will fail. But sometimes the version will be there, but there might be some vulnerabilities. Those vulnerabilities are not captured by your Maven tool or build activity. For that, we have to enforce some. Let me say, for example, here in this case also, 4.12, it is having one vulnerability, right? It was very old version. So if I run this, definitely it will have some vulnerability. So with this vulnerable code, I can't move it to the higher environment or production environment. So for that, what I do means I introduce some quality gating. SonarQube scan upon build, based upon the source code, what are the vulnerabilities it just captures everything, and once the stage is successful, then I can able to promote to the next level. Like that, I can able to enforce some code quality check. Fine.
This SonarQube is a tool or a plugin?
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool that is that should be installed in a separate server.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So any other question here in this workflow?
The last stage, which we can copy that one. Yeah, can you show me in Jenkins, like how can
Yeah, I'll
we
do that.
do
I'll do
it?
that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. How to generate this and all. I'll do that. But before that, you understood the workflow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, are we good to execute this workflow? Are we good with this? So as far as this pipeline is concerned, I'm creating one image, and without doing any sort of validation, I'm publishing to Docker Hub, right? But in real-time environment, once the image is created, that image will be tested by the developer locally. Okay. And once it is working as expected, then only we should publish that image to Docker Hub. What if I create the image and if the image is not having proper dependency or if it is not working as expected? There's no point in publishing it, right? I get your point. So there is something called unit level testing that is done by the developer. So if you want to implement that, before you publish your code to the target environment, we can able to have some approval stage stating that the image, whatever you created, if it is okay, you can proceed with the publish. Otherwise, you can abort the job. Like that, we can have some intermediate stages. That's also possible. You can able to improvise it. Similarly, after publishing to your Docker Hub, just before Kubernetes deployment, if you want to have some approval, you can do some approval stage there. That is what we call as a continuous delivery approach. So what is continuous delivery and deployment? Difference is, if you're using continuous delivery means it expects a manual intervention, manual approval before it goes to production. If it is a continuous deploy, means that deployment approval is not required. Directly we can able to deploy to target environments. Correct. So this is something you can consider as a continuous deployment approach without any manual intervention. Once the code is picked up, automatically just deployed to Kubernetes cluster by going through all the stages. But if you want, you can able to introduce some approval stage in between. That's what I'm saying. All right. Are we good with this, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want, you can have a quick break. Refresh session, come back. I'll show you how to, I'll just execute this. If you want, I can introduce some approval stage also in between and show you how we can control it. All right.
Okay.
So how much time you need? Okay. So you can come at 12. All right. Go ahead, please. Yo, what happened? All right, guys. Carry on. Just refresh session, come back. I'm waiting. So shall we?
Yes.
All right. Hope all are there, right? Can see people. Some of them they logged off. Not sure what's happening there. Okay. All right. Anyways, thanks for coming back. Others, I'm not sure. Hope all are there on call, or just I can see only one person active.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Thank you. Fine. So now we are going to know implement this, right? How we can able to create a CSD pipeline to automate this process. I'll just show as of now, we just fulfill all the prerequisites, right? What are things needed? Everything is ready. So let's get into our Jenkins job. Let's create a new job. Let me make it as a pipeline project here. So it's very straightforward. Okay, like what are scripts you have here, you can able to have keep it in your repos coding. So if you want, I can able to put all these things together, or if you want, you can check one by one. Like we can able to first deploy the image and validate the image once. So now I just created this with three important stages. First stage is to perform the build, checkout, application build, and then Docker image creation. So let's verify if it is working as success expected, then we can able to proceed with the next level. I think everything should be fine. That's what expected. So Docker image build stage fails. So let's verify what went wrong here. So we can able to clearly see that the job got executed in a slave machine, application build server. It has created a workspace. And if you get into this process, we can able to see the build also it's successful, right? Build is also successfully created. And thing is that it has executed the, you can see here, right? It has executed the Docker version command. But when I try to execute this command, right? Version it can be displayed, but when you try to access the server, it says permission denied. Permission denied. So this is what we have experienced in a slave node, if you remember. The slave node, when I run the Docker, what do you call that? Docker PS, I was getting error. So what I did, I just added to the group. But in order to make this change as a permanent change, we have to reboot the machine. That we missed it. So let me simply reboot this. Let me reboot this machine. Okay. So upon reboot, I think it is still in progress. Yeah, it's up to date. Okay. So now if I say Docker images, I don't have any images at this point. And if I say ls, I can able to see the workspace got created as part of my previous step. Query to the workspace, I can able to see this is created. So all that we can do is we can trigger the job again. So hope we can able to see, right? Now the build is successful and we should able to experience the Docker image. So the very first command, whatever we have executed is Docker version command and then Docker build command to create the build based on a build number. And then I'm trying to get the list of images and finally I'm tagging it to latest. So it has execute Docker version command to get the version and it has executing the Docker build command also with my build number 2. So while executing this command, it is interpreting my Docker file, whatever we have in our GitHub repository from Tomcat, and it is trying to access the war file, whatever we have in the workspace directory, and then it has create one image, and finally we're just tagging it. It is successfully tagged. Simple. So if I get into this workspace that is in my build server, if I say Docker images, I should be able to see those images. The base image Tomcat 8.0 and the build number 2. For build number 2, I created image and which I tagged latest. Now, before I publish this image to my Docker Hub, I just want to verify it. How can I verify this image? Docker run -it followed by the image name. Got it? You can able to use your port mapping also. If you want to run, you can simply run it. Otherwise, you can able to give -p. You can give some port mapping like 8089:8080. Can you see this? It started when my Tomcat server is up and running. So in this Tomcat server, if you see here, we have the war file, right? The expectation is the war file should be copied to the target directory. Within the web apps folder, the war file should be placed. Can you see this? The image was built based upon the copy instruction. From the source code repository, if you observe the Docker file, the Docker file is having an instruction called copy instruction, that is to copy the artifacts. From the workspace, we have a target folder. Within the target folder, it is create the war file. This has to be copied to the container path under web apps. So it happened here. So under user local Tomcat web apps, it has copied my WAR file. So now my container is running with this application artifacts. So once it is up and running, so what is the port I used here? 8089. So I can use the external IP address of the machine. :8089. So with this, I should be able to validate my application. See, in this port, my Tomcat is up and running. And if I want to see my application, I'll be using artifact there. This is what the artifact we have copied. Yes, this is what it is. Can you see this? So this is what the web application that is running on my, it is created by the, by this, in this page here. It's a simple script which we have here. So as part of unit testing, developers can able to make any number of changes here, and they can able to update it. Or if you want to automate the deployment, you can able to create a GitHub webhook and make changes in source code repository automate through Eclipse. This job will get triggered automatically here. You see? So this particular application is being tested in my local build server. I'm sure that it is working as expected. So what I can do, I can proceed with the next step. So in the next step, I can able to log into Docker Hub and publish this image to Docker Hub registry. Okay. So like this, if you don't want to hold this process, if you want to continuously implement this means, we can able to go with this level. Or if you want to implement some approval stage in between, you can able to follow this route. I'll give you one quick syntax for this. Okay. So if you look into this example here, once the application build is completed, I'm just introducing one approval stage. Approve, Docker, publish. Okay. I just want to implement some approval stage. In this approval stage, it will be waiting for my approval before it try to publish it to Docker Hub. Right. So now let me execute these stages and show you how it works. So all that I did is upon Docker build, I'm going to introduce one approval stage, which will be waiting for my approval. So during that waiting stage, I can able to get into my build server and validate it. Once it is validated successfully, I can approve the process to deploy it in target environment. Right. So let me apply these changes and trigger the build again. So if you can observe this, it has completed the Docker image creation process, and I can able to see the latest images updated should be available here. See, for the latest build, number 3, it has created one image, and it is waiting for my approval. This approved published Docker registry, it is waiting for my approval. So if I click on proceed, it will proceed with the next 2 stages. Log in Docker Hub and publish Docker Hub registry. If I give abort, the process will be stopped there itself. Right. So that makes a difference. I hope it's logged into Docker Hub successfully and publish to Docker Hub registries in progress, and it's done. So now if I get into my Docker Hub registry, I can able to see the image, whatever we published just a few seconds ago, it is available here. Loxit app. And within this, I have, this is the latest version. Few seconds ago, we published it. Correct? So this is how it gets published to the Docker Hub. And there's a public view. Any questions? Are we good with this, or do you have any question here? Please let me know.
Yeah, we are fine.
Okay. So the next thing is about deployment to Kubernetes cluster. So in order to work on this, first let me get into the dashboard or the pipeline itself. I can take it to the pipeline syntax. And in the snippet generator, we can look for publish OSS plugin or SS publisher. Okay. And here in SS publisher, to which target server you want to publish, you want to copy the content or run some commands, just identify target server. This Kubernetes already we configured in a system configuration, so it's available here. And what do you want to transfer here? So if you look into my source code repository, in my servers, I can see. So this is the workspace which got created in a build server. So from this build server, I just want to copy my YAML file. So what are the YAML files we have in this machine? I just want to copy to the target machine. So I can simply say like *.yaml, or you can able to give the complete name of the file. That's not an issue. And then I don't want to remove any prefix here. So what is remote directory? I can keep it in the default directory of the DevOps admin user. Okay. And upon copying this, what is the command we're going to execute? Normally, once the manifest file is ready, we use a command called kubectl. Kubectl.
CTL apply -f.
So we can use apply. Instead of create, you can use apply -f followed by the file name. This is a file I want to run in that machine. That's it. So instead of apply, you can give create command also. But the create command means it is meant for the very first time. If you create any Kubernetes resource or object for the very first time, you can use create command. But since we are going to automate the process, the same thing can be repeated a number of times, right? The job will get triggered a number of times based upon the source code change. So for all the incremental changes, it is going to create new image. So in that case, you can't use create command, we can use apply command. So apply command will first try to create the object. If it is not present, it will create it. Otherwise, it will replace it. That is how it works. That's it. So these are the parameters required here. And with all these parameters, if you click on generate, you can able to get this syntax. Just copy this into your script level. And once you have it here, you can copy the entire stage to your job. Okay. And if you want, you can able to introduce the approval stage here also. That's not an issue. So even after publishing the image to Docker Hub, I can able to approve deployment. If I'm okay with the approval, I'll proceed further. Right. So just apply the changes and trigger the build. Any question here? You guys have any question, or are we comfortable? Are we good with this? Okay, let me trigger this job. I hope my Jenkins master is also available, right? What is it? SU. So in this directory, I need that manifest file. And from this directory itself, it will run my kubectl apply command. So as of now, if you noticed here, kubectl get pods. We have just 2 pods available, which was created last session, I believe, right? These 2 things. So we can able to trigger the build now. And I'm okay with the change. So let me proceed further. So now again, upon publishing the image to Docker Hub, latest image, it is seeking for the approval to deploy. Proceed further. So now the deployment is also successful, right? Able to see this? It is done. So now you can get into your target machine that is in your Kubernetes master. And if you see the list of pods, you can able to see that new list of pods are running now. So these pods are depends upon my deployment controller object, Loxi et deploy. So if I say kubectl get deploy, I can able to see Loxi et deploy got generated that is based upon my script. So in this script, I use the name of the deployment object is Loxi et deploy. Similarly, whenever I create a deployment object, I told you it will create one replica set, right? Just give rs, you should be able to see the replica set. And based upon replica set only, your pod name will be suffixed. So ultimately, the 3 instances of pods are up and running in this machine, in this node. And not only that, we also created one node port service, Loxi ETA NP service. So you can able to get the details from here itself, SVC. So node port service has been created, which is running it in this port, which we manually configured, 31002. And it is mapped to my target port. Easy? Is that clear? Any question here, please? Fine. And now, if I simply say like kubectl get pods, I'll be getting the list of pods up and running, but in which node it is running? I can verify it from here. See here, these 3 pods are under execution, and out of that 2 pods are running in Worker node 2 and 1 is running in Worker node 1. So if I have this availability, I can directly get into my machine. First 2 pods are running in Worker node 2 and the last pod is running in Worker node 1. This is a pod IP address. So based upon the information, I can get into my instance. Let me take the public IP address of the Worker node 1 and using port 31002. So this should get me the default page of my Tomcat. Similarly, if I say the artifact ID, I should be able to see my application. And since my application is running in both the nodes, even if one node is down, I have another node to support my application. If you check the node 2, in node 2 also you can able to find the same. So this is what high availability means. So just with a single pipeline, we can able to deploy our applications in more than one worker nodes. Schedule will automatically take care of it. And at any point of time, if you delete any of the pod, it will automatically recreate it. Okay, that is what the high availability means. Can you able to see this now? So all that I did is I just manually deleted a pod. kubectl delete pod followed by the pod name. QCRX8. This is what the version of pod I just deleted. And it immediately created one new pod when I get the list. That is what a deployment controller object means. So it ensures that the replicas, how many replicas we need, all the replicas should be up and running at any point of time. Clear? Any
Yes.
question? So this is how we can able to validate. Okay. So now, even if one worker node is down, the pod will be scheduled to the available worker node. Depends upon the health status of the node. So this is how we can able to ensure high availability of your application or the pods as well as the underlying infrastructure.
But in your case, we deleted that pod from worker node 1, right? So now,
No, not from worker node 1. I just deleted from the cluster. In which node is running, that is secondary for me. Correct. I have some pod running in my cluster and I just deleted it. Whether it's running in worker node 1 or 2, that doesn't matter here.
and control manager would
Quickly create one node.
assign like
Put
new pod, and that
Yeah,
would be the healthiest node, right?
no. It will create one new pod and that will get deployed in the healthy node.
Yes, healthiest node, right? Likewise, I said it should be in worker node 2 or 1, whatever comes in priority. Okay.
Yeah.
So say, suppose we have two worker nodes and two pods are running on one like first worker node and one is on second. Okay. If our second machine goes down, then that pod will be automatically created on first
Yeah,
worker
that's
node,
right.
right?
It'll get allocated to the available node.
Okay. Even though that node is down, machine is down.
Yeah, that's what. No, then if the node is down, automatically that pod will get scheduled to the available node.
I did not understand his question actually. He said even if that node is down, then control manager would assign that port to that node only, or the
No,
available?
to the available node.
Okay.
Let's say you have two nodes and my pods are equally distributed in all the two nodes. Correct.
Yeah.
And while it is in progress, one of my node went to stop state or it is not reachable. So whenever the node is unreachable, what we can do means the controller object, whatever we have created, right, deployment object, It will automatically schedule the pod in the next available node.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So that is how it works. So this CSD pipeline I'll be sharing with you. If you have any questions in implementing it, please let me know. Or apart from this, guys, explaining any other inputs or any other questions, please let me know. We can talk about it. And
Can you please come again? Like from starting to ending, like for like summary, like what we did till now.
From where? Starting means like
From
which
start.
step?
Like, yeah, we created 3. Yeah, we created 5.
Yeah,
In
so
which we
ultimately
kept
we have,
which file?
see here we have 3 or 5 VMs we have created, right?
Yeah.
And the Jenkins master, whatever we have, it is just for creating a job and job scheduling. And the actual build is going to happen in the slave machine.
Yeah.
So if you are concerned about only these 2 servers, the basic requirement is you should have a source code repository with a valid source code and the Docker file. Because here itself you're going to create a Docker image and publishing to Docker Hub. Now, when it comes to Kubernetes, we need a manifest file. So that manifest file also should be added in the source code repository.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
And once we have the manifest file in the source code repository, as part of your deployment, that means through your CSD pipeline stages, where is it? This is the one, right?
It will copy to the slave.
So here, once a build published to Docker image is ready, we can able to use your publish version plugin and move that manifest file to the target environment and run the command here, kubectl apply command.
Okay.
So this is how your process works in your real-time environment. So ultimately what we're trying to do here is, it is a continuous integration. So tomorrow we can able to implement the same through our Visual Studio Code. I can simply clone my repository in Visual Studio Code, and through Visual Studio Code or Eclipse-based IDE, if I make some changes, it will automatically trigger my Jenkins job if I integrate some webhook. Hope you don't worry how to configure webhook and all. Can you able to make it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, in Jenkins we can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right.
Generally, we go with webhook only, right? For the build process. Pole
Yeah,
SCM
automated
would,
build.
yeah,
Automated
automated.
build will be using GitHub
Yeah.
webhook. Pole SCM, it depends upon the non-prod environment.
Yeah.
In a non-prod environment, if you want to enable some build cycles or test cycles, you can use Pole SCM.
Okay.
But for the all the automated deployments, you go with your GitHub webhook. You want me to show that, or you can able to manage it? I think you already covered, right?
Yeah, that we did. I just wanted to make sure in like to recall this thing. So.
Okay. And if you want, you can able to enhance this with some notifications, like email notifications. Like, for example, consider this is my very first stage that is going to perform the build. I mean, SCM checkout. So if this step is successfully executed, I can able to proceed further. What if this step fails? The developer URL, whatever they gave, if the URL does not exist, what will happen? Obviously, job will fail, but how the user will be notified about it?
Through
Once a job is, yeah, so once a job fails, we'll be getting the status in the Jenkins actually. So no one is notified at this point of time, right? So what we can do means we can able to introduce some approval stages in the pipeline script. So approval stage means it will be something like this. I'll give you one more example here to introduce approval stage within approval process within a stage. So let me introduce one new set of instruction here. So did you get a chance to integrate your email notification emails in configuration in Jenkins? Did we?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
No,
I
no,
did.
we didn't. Actually, you told me to. You told
You
us
just
to
showed us
create
the
that
steps.
token, 16
Yeah, so that's
digits.
what. So did you create the app token?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it and it worked for me.
So that's what. So you just go to your system configuration of Jenkins. And in the system configuration, yeah. So here you should able to see something called email notification. So through this, you can able to set up the emails. Right. So if you want, I can quickly show you that. phone number லாம் கேக்குறீங்களே. I'm just doing some verification here. Just a minute. Let me rename this. E9 359. Okay. All right. So I have just created a application token. Correct. So the token is something I can keep it here for time being. This is what the app token generated through my Gmail account. So if you log into Gmail account, go to your security settings. Account settings. Under account setting, you can see a security tab. And in the security tab, first enable your multi-factor authentication with your valid mobile number. You'll be getting a OTP for verification. Once it is done, then on the same page, search for app password. You'll be getting app password field. There, just give a name of a password which you want to generate. Just give a name, and what is the 16 bytes of information will be generated for you. So this is what the password you want to you have to use. And to work on this, you'll be using your email ID as well. Okay. So let me get into this and take my email ID. Right. And also, if you remember, we have discussed about the SMTP server URLs and all, right? Did you get a chance to configure it for Gmail and the port numbers? Guys?
SMTP generally uses 479 the port. And then the Gmail smtp.gmail.com, that's the server name. And
No, that's what. Did you get a chance to integrate it? How many of you covered that? That's what my question like.
yeah, it's
No,
done.
no, we
It just works.
haven't. Sorry, you just show once.
Okay. All right. So you're clear with the app token creation, right? Or any doubt in that?
Yeah, that is clear.
Okay. So once app token is created, then you'll be configuring it in your server. So in that server, you'll be giving your notifications. So let me show you what are things needed for that. is it? Okay. So I just collect all the required parameters for you now. So you should have a valid email ID with the app token, and then SMTP server and 465 is a port number. These are the parameters needed for you. So just go to your Jenkins. No, like why the response is very slow. Okay, so I'm on this screen. Go to the settings, and here you can able to specify the server, SMTP server. So you can simply use the same smtp.gmail.com as SMTP server. And what is the default prefix? You can able to say this @gmail.com. And click on advanced settings, use SMTP authentication method. And in this username, you can specify the username, the email ID, whatever you want to give. And the password should be the app token, whatever you have generated. And then for Gmail, it is SSL protocol. Okay, you have to use this SSL layer, and the port number is 465. Simply use the port number 465. And reply to address, if you want to configure, you can give the same email ID just for testing purpose. And then once you configure all these things, if your SMTP URL, your credentials, if everything is valid, you can simply go ahead and test it now. So if you click on test, it should send a test email to that inbox. See, I can see the email was sent successfully. So if I check my inbox, I should be able to see the message. Got it? So this is the way we'll be planning our activities. Yeah. So can you see this is a test email received from my through Jenkins. Test email 1 from Jenkins. We received it now. So with this, I can able to configure my email in this Jenkins. Simply save this configuration. Once it is saved, if you want to enable the notification through your pipeline, just go to your pipeline snippet generator. So from your pipeline script, if you click on snippet generator, you can able to get into snippet generator page. Here you can choose the mail templating. So we have something called mail. And here you can specify to address. If you want to give CC address or BCC and the subject, whatever you want to give, you can able to give here. Body of the email, and then generate the script. You'll be getting a script here. So once you get this, you need to code it in your pipeline script in any one of the stages. So if you look into my example here, I hope where it is. Yes. So let me put this in our level here. Okay. So the script, whatever I have generated, I just want to send it as part of this stage. So during SCM checkout stage, this is a build step. Once a build is completed, as a post build action, I want to manage the email. So as a post build action, if the stage fails, then only I can able to send the email. If it is successful, then I don't need to send an email. I can directly proceed the build activity, right? For this case and all, you can simply ignore if it is successful. For successful scenario, no need to send the emails. If it fails, then you can send the email. So what you can do means, as a post build action, you can able to validate for failure case. If it is failure, you are sending an email, mail to address from subject and then the body of the email. All right. Is it clear? Or if you want to send it during the successful as well as failure case, means you can able to add a success here. Instead of failure, it will be success. Like this. So once the stage is successful, it will be sending the email. You can say a message like success. Okay. like this. So usually whenever we talk about our SCM checkout, he'll be sending email only at the failure state. For build also, if build is successful, you can proceed with the Docker deployment, Docker image creation. When we'll be sending for both successful and failure state means when it is deployed to target environment or when it's published to any other environment. Like for example, upon publishing my image to Docker Hub, I can able to send the notification to my development team stating that it's successfully published. Or if it fails also, I can able to send the notification. So it is purely depends upon the stage in which situation you want to send the email. You can able to use that scenario. Are you getting a point? Is it clear? Hope you got it right, the way I coded it. So now you can able to integrate this in one of your stages. Like if you go to your job, wherever you want, like this is meant for approval checkout stage, right? So it should be within a stage and outside this step. Okay, that is very important. This is a stage, start and end, and this is a step, start and end. After step definition, once a build step is completed, you should go for the post build action. Easy? Hope you are listening this.
Yeah.
All right, so now let me execute this job. So it is pending for my approval here. It has completed SCM checkout, application build, and Docker image was created. It is pending for approval. So my intention is not to deploy it. So let me abort this build because I just want to check the email, right? So let me abort this. I don't want to proceed further. Now what I can do, I can check my email, right? If you check the status also, you can able to see from the status. Upon SCM checkout, you can able to see sent email on successful status. So if I get into my inbox, I should be able to see the message, email from there, success email, right? So this is for a successful case. Similarly, if you say failure means you can able to send failure. So like this, the post build action. As a post build action, we can able to send the email at 3 different levels. So it can be for successful, failure, or sometimes the job will be unstable. So these are the 3 scenarios, post build actions. If the job is successful, failure, unsuccessful, unstable, in all these 3 scenarios, we can send the email. Easy? So, question, please let me know, guys.
So say, as I like asked you in previous session, can you list down just like build a list of like name of build tools for different languages like Python, JS, Node.js, and all. Just knowledge.
See, it's all depends upon the application. Okay, we never go with any specific build tools. Like if it is a .NET, it is having its own build activities like nuggets. Similarly, if it is a Python,
So
we can
yeah,
simply install. Hello.
yeah. I wanted to like know that only.
Yeah, that is what. So if it is a .NET means we use Nuggets, and if it is Python or Node.js or Angular, all that we do is we just have that package installed in the target machine and run it, because it's all like an interpreter, right? So we can simply run the script. But at the time of deployment only, we require some web application servers, like through like in Jenkins, we integrated our Tomcat for Java applications. Similarly for Python, .NET, Angular, Node.js, each and every application has its own application server. Like we can able to use some .NET Core framework, or we can use your Django framework or Flask framework. Framework, it will automatically uh, execute your application.
So
So
that
that is how we just
Django
test
is
it.
for Python, right?
No, it is a general one. Even .NET application also we can use Django. It's just a web application framework. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So for your Python-based web applications or Angular, Node.js, even if you create any web application using your .NET, ASP.NET, we can able to validate it. So we have something called full stack development, right? Use for using .NET and all, we can use it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so if you want, you can able to enhance the process, okay, using Ansible also. Like we can able to leverage Ansible, and as I said, right, we can have a dedicated workflow for Ansible pipeline for configuration management. So for that, we need to create a playbook, and the playbook can be pulled from your GitHub repository using Ansible roles. So I will just try to explore the things. And apart from that, I recommend you people to have some fundamentals about the cloud services, cloud DevOps services. Like if you're talking about AWS, means we have dedicated AWS DevOps services like Azure Code Pipelines, Code Build, Code Deploy, Code Test. Similarly for AWS, sorry, not Azure here, AWS I'm talking about. In AWS, we have AWS Code Pipeline, Code Build there. Similarly for Azure, it is Azure DevOps Services, Azure Repos and all. So at least any one cloud platform, try to have some fundamental knowledge about it, so that it will be easy for you to face the interview, and in real time also it will be easy for you to manage the things. I think the poll is open, right, for everyone, is or is it completed?
So already submitted.
Yes. It's done.
Okay, thank you. Can see not complete 100% answered. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So now it's your turn. Okay, if you have any queries on the modules, whatever you covered, please let me know. I'm here to guide you. So you can start preparing a profile. Okay, like people who are preparing for new opportunities or who are completely fresher, just upload your profile with all the contents whatever we discussed here, and you can able to consider this as one mini project itself, like with the pipeline. So ultimately during interview, this is what expected. Okay, like what are things you'll be doing as part of your application onboarding. So how you will assess your environment and how you will identify the infrastructure, what are servers you need, and in each and every server, what are tools you install, and how you integrate all these servers. And upon integration, how you can able to create a CSD pipeline. What are challenges you face here? This is what expect during interview. All right.
Say, can we get some sample resume?
Sample resume, I think you'll be getting from SA. Strategy will be sharing you once your training is complete, right? So if
Okay.
you're part of your interview preparation, or I think interview preparation not in the scope, right, for you, or you are registered for any some other
No,
course.
no, no. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So see, if you want, I can give you some hints there, okay, for your profile. So first, your profile is going to be a very important thing, right? So you can have your professional summary. So where you can able to talk about all your experiences, how much years of experience you have, and what is your course skill set, what is your specialization, all those stuff. And then comes your tools. What are the tools and services you are working with? There you can able to talk about all your DevOps tools and services. Okay. So you can list out all the things, and then you can able to talk about the projects. I'm just giving you a high level. It is not a complete picture. Just you can cook up the data. So project details, when it comes to project details, you can take any example, like in your real time also, you must be working for a particular project. So in that particular application, how you can deploy DevOps, or you can interact with the DevOps team. What is the related activities, which project they are working on. So even I have seen many people, people who are working in development in background, uh, they must be using their DevOps tools like Jenkins and all, but they just use Jenkins for job submission. That's all, and they'll check for the status. If any issue occurs, they will just raise a ticket, and it will be processed by the support team. So developers, they just use DevOps tools as a consumer, as an end user. But now with this knowledge, with this training knowledge, what they do means they just now highlight themselves as they have created the Jenkins server and managing the entire Jenkins jobs and all. So like that, if you gain the confidence, if you have the technical knowledge, you can able to showcase that you are basically from development team, and we have a process where we development team and DevOps teams work together, and we just onboard the DevOps implement CSD for our applications. So I'm part of DevOps team as well. I'll be responsible for managing Jenkins servers. And remember, during the Jenkins module, I gave you a list of roles and responsibilities, right? Starting from the plugin management, server management. So all these things are considered roles and responsibilities. You can add everything here. What are the possible things you can add? You can add everything. And to achieve that, what are tools you used? What is your day-to-day activity on that? Just highlight it, and just add two more projects. One completely by using Jenkins, and another thing is how you onboard application by integrating a CSD pipeline. That is one thing. So it means you'll be working as a Jenkins administrator, as well as you are responsible to onboard application for DevOps. So you are the key person who creates an end-to-end CSD pipeline. The pipeline scripts will be created by you. So you will be responsible for integrating all the servers, creating an application artifacts, all those stuff. Got it?
But the
yeah.
major concern is in terms of salary. Likewise, if a person is having 10 plus years of experience, right, in technical domain or other networking field, now once you switch to DevOps field, um, so we can show that experience on the resume for let's say 1 to 2 years, but the salary would be less as what they earn right now. So in that case, what we should do, I mean, having to show like more than 5 years of experience, and in that case, they would go in deep at the time of interview.
See, the point is your overall package, the package, whatever you'll be offered, it depends upon the overall experience, right?
Uh,
If you are 8 years of experience in IT and for the last 2 years you are working in DevOps means while giving you the package, right? The overall package depends upon your overall experience. They're not going to consider you as a fresher and they're not going to offer only the fresher level salary, right?
yeah, that's right. But
So
they,
that matters. So with the DevOps is just a 2 years of experience. But this 2 years of experience, whatever you have, right, that is going to be elevated based upon your overall experience. Already you have 8 years of experience means what are things you learn there. With that knowledge, you should be able to cope up with their business requirement. That is what they will check. No one will check like if let's say I have experience of I mean my companies they are needing around 8 years of experience in DevOps, but I am not getting a profile. I have a profile who's having just 8 years of overall experience, but 3 years of DevOps experience means what they will do? They will try to recruit the people, and they'll check the caliber, what they have, how much they can able to adapt to the new process, and how they can able to bring their previous experience to the current project. On that perspective, only your salary will be decided.
yeah,
So no
but for
one will pay less than what you're getting. That is for sure.
right, but
That
for
is for sure.
lucrative package, they would ask for 8 to 9 years of experience in DevOps.
Then you can't apply for that. You need to
Yeah,
apply for
I
the
saw
people.
yesterday.
Listen, in that case, don't apply for because that is something like core architect or what is it called consultant level, DevOps architect or managers level. So don't try that on because what are things you learned here? I told you on very first day itself. With this knowledge, you can able to compete as a 1 places of experience resource.
Okay.
If you are completely a fresher, if you have 2 years of gap means you can able to fill the gap with this knowledge. Or if you're already working for 10 years means out of 10 years, last 2 years you worked in DevOps with these tools.
They
Like that you
won't
can
check
easily compete.
the company background, like, he would be in this field and whatever. They won't check, right?
What they will check?
I mean, the roles and responsibilities.
See, you have a valid payroll, right? Are you sure you're having it right?
Yes, yes. But what
It
my
is a
concern
genuine
is,
payroll, right? See, uh, whenever we talk about the verification, right, they will check whether the person worked for a company or not. How many years they worked, whether the papers, whatever he is having, is the genuine paper or not. That's what they will check. Within the company, in which project you are working and in which tool you are working, what is the related activities, they won't verify it.
Yeah, the company itself won't reveal that and all.
Okay, so that is not their concern because it's all something companies, proprietary things, right? Client details would be there. So that and all we can't expose. Even during interview, you're not supposed to talk about your client name also. Like I worked for this particular project means who is the client? They will not ask the question. Even if they ask the question also, you're not supposed to share the client name. If you share the client name, it is something you are spoiling the integrity of that organization. So that's all some key things you should understand. So no one will do a deep verification about your actual day-to-day activity. Correct. So on paper, it can be anything because that's what happening right in real-time environment. Today, let's say I'm working for a company. I've been assigned with one task. I sometimes people will recruit from for one particular team for one technology, but down the line, if the customer is not supporting, they'll be putting deploying the same resource in different technology, different resource. So that is not a problem actually. So main thing is the knowledge. What are things you learned? How you can able to compare it with the real-time scenario? How quickly you able to adapt to the real-time scenario? That is what the main expectation here. So if you have 8 years of experience, just you can say just mention it, stating that last 2 years you were in DevOps. What you did in DevOps means just talk about the Jenkins management, your deployment lifecycle. Simple.
yeah, in my present company, there is a DevOps process, but in previous company where I work, for ID, there was no DevOps at all. So that's why I was asking this, if they would something like come
No,
across and
nothing,
yeah.
nothing like that.
Okay.
So in present company, how many years you are?
On paper is 9 years.
Then why are you concerned about the previous company here?
No, previous companies like I work for some financial IT
See,
companies
first
and
of all,
then
don't think too much. Okay. You
it
have
come
9 years of
yesterday I
experience
just
in present company,
yeah.
then why are you concerned about the last 9 years back? Why you're going there? Let's not leave it. What is your last 5 years of experience? That is what count accountable.
Okay. All right. Because yesterday I just was, screening the resumes on different portals and then whatever the descriptions they mentioned, like, blah, blah experience, and you might be having these skills. So I was just confused. That's why I thought I would ask you.
See, I'll tell you one small thing, okay? Always know interview preparation, we should be very smart. So whatever you mention on your profile, let's say when you upload your profile in Naukri also, you should able to cover all the things, all the technical things. Everything should be on a generic level. Don't go in detail. They just they need to shortlist your profile. On that perspective, you just prepare a profile. And once they identify your profile and if they call for an interview, right, they will ask to share the updated profile from you, right?
Yes.
By the time you should get their job description. What is the job description? What they need? Based upon their job description, just update your profile and send it to them. That is what the actual thing you will add value. Got it? So before even getting an interview call, if you are searching for a job profiles and going through the resumes, all it's totally no confuses. It takes it just takes to our next some unwanted things. It will be it's totally waste of time. So whatever you have in your hand, with that, just prepare everything, upload it. Once you get a call, definitely they'll be sharing a job description. Based on job description, just update your profile and share it with them. You can easily get through that.
Okay.
So always the resource, whatever they're expecting, the resource should be relevant resource. You might be expert in different areas, but that is not their requirement. What is the key requirement? You should be able to fulfill that on that particular moment.
And I don't know about the package market in Bangalore, but here in Pune it's good. But in Bangalore, even I saw some resumes. I mean, job descriptions. They offer extremely high salaries. Even having 3 to 4 years of experience, that's fine. But they offer nearly 22 LPA, so that would be great enough in Bangalore, not in Pune. So they just having they were looking for the candidates having 2 or 3 years of experience and majority in Terraform and Kubernetes. That's it. So they didn't even mention the Ansible, but Jenkins pipeline and Kubernetes and Terraform. Yeah, that's what I read. And package was somewhere around 20 to 22 LPA. That was the thing.
What is the overall experience you're expecting?
I told you na that would be 2 to 3 years of experience. That's it.
No, is it relevant or overall?
Relevant DevOps experience. Yeah.
Relevant is okay, but what is the overall experience?
Overall, I did not check it, but
That's what the
they were
point
low.
actually. The LPA, whatever you're talking about,
Mhm.
it is based upon the overall experience. So you need to
Okay.
check that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Sai. I have 2.9 years experience around. I can mention as I've been working on 2 years in DevOps, like in so on so process and
Yeah, in your current company, if you have the tools, everything you have in place, you can
yeah,
able
in
to talk about
TCS
it.
there is everything, but
Then you can aram the TCS and all, you can able to aram, so you can mention it. And if you're in TCS, try to search internally. If you get an opportunity with internal
Yeah,
teams,
yeah.
you can move it. Because coming out of TCS for the job or career perspective means I don't think it's a good idea. So within that internal portal, just search for opportunity. You'll be getting a lot of openings there. Talk to your manager and switch to that project.
Yeah, that is what like I already waiting for the client interview. I have
Hmm.
completed that Azure 104
Yeah,
certification, which is administrator, and they told we have opening in Terraform, so managing infrastructure
yeah,
in
yeah. Then you're fine.
Azure Terraform. I'm still waiting. There is no response. Like they are telling nothing.
No, no,
Like
no.
when
See,
it
it's fourth quarter, right? It will be like that only. In this quarter, it will be like that only. You won't get the things done on time because almost people are in vacation mode. Okay, so you can just do your preparation.
yeah,
Try
they
to
told
equip
me to
yourself.
prepare for Terraform. Like you'll be having
Just
some client
maybe,
interview.
yeah, maybe in this month end, almost it is done. So November, if possible, you'll get. Otherwise, you'll be getting it on Jan. By mid of Jan, you can expect.
But since I'm like sitting idle like from Jan, so there is
Hey, no,
not
yeah,
the
these are all
job.
very good opportunities. Okay, see, they are just paying you and asking you to prepare, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
opportunity. Don't by this time you should have completed two, three certifications. Since Jan you're sitting means.
Yes, yes. And yeah, there is AWS certification also, which is giving vouchers, like yeah,
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
free
yeah. Just
vouchers.
plan your timing. That is what.
But currently I'm at 8.5, 8.3 LPA. If I'm switch with this package, I'll be getting more, right? So
See, I'm telling you again. Don't think about the LPS and all.
uh,
Okay, it will come automatically.
okay,
So
if you have the knowledge.
yeah, so whenever we are searching for a job, keeping the LPA as a first line, then we won't get satisfied. Okay,
Yeah.
so ultimately we are here for experience, correct?
Yeah.
So once your experience increases, once you are getting experience, automatically the LPA will grow without your knowledge. If you turn back after 5 years, you will see the difference. Got it?
Yes,
So please don't focus on LPSI. Even I have seen most of the resources. Uh, what will be the pay I will be getting?
mhm.
That is not a valid thing actually. Okay, the mindset itself I'm selling. Sorry for that, but still, the
Yeah.
ground reality is you should not approach any interview on LPA perspective.
Yeah.
Correct. Of course, that is also matters. But apart from the career, the technology, what do you learn? As of now, what
Mm-hmm.
experience you have, right? Only the
Yeah.
training experience. So with this training
Yes.
experience, if you're getting an infrastructure to practice in a real-time environment, which is going to give more experience to you, means down the line, after 2 years, you'll be master in the technology. 2 years is more than sufficient to gain the complete knowledge on the
Mm.
technology. So after 2 years, you see your value in market. That is how you should think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Like I hear that you're a Tamil guy. Even me too. But I thought you were a Mallu guy.
Mhm.
I thought you were a Mallu guy, but you were telling some Tamil words. Then I came to know you're a Tamil guy. Even me too.
Mhm.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, can we get your LinkedIn profile so we can follow you?
We'll do. Don't worry. So you have a source code repository, right? Like this one. Let me put all this in the document. And the repository, whatever you have, where is that repository? This is the one, right? Regulative of. Okay, so here we have till last week. So I'll be uploading for your current thing. Like I think we have updated for Kubernetes on last session for the configuration management, configuration and installation. So I'll be uploading the required documents now. Okay. Hey, just a second. I'm uploading all the documents now. In the meantime, if you have any queries, you can talk.
Sai, do you have this glossary for certified Kubernetes administrator? I mean the points like in any PDF that you would have and like to share with us so that we
No,
can prepare for that.
nobody, I don't have.
So I think on this Google, I found a lot of stuff, but that was not like the deep understanding or thoroughly we can go through it because it's deep level and they ask for the subscription, for their documents.
See, if you want to go with the Kubernetes means the Kubernetes official document itself is more than sufficient. I did from
Uh,
there only.
okay. For exam point of view, I'm asking
Yeah,
like
yeah, that is
what
what.
sort of.
See, it will be giving a complete picture about what are things needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about each and every object of Kubernetes, what is the core concept, and what is the syntax to create that, and what are the real-time scenarios we have. So in that official, I think I shared the link right for Kubernetes downloads. You can
Yes,
refer the
I
same link. There
yes.
is you can see something called training and documentation, case studies. You just utilize that one. Don't explore any other materials because Kubernetes, they recently made a lot of changes. Okay, from the latest version, from Kubernetes latest versions, there are a lot of changes happening. That was in April. So if you go with any unauthorized or open source or unofficial documents, you might not get the current details. So better go with the official documentation. That's what I shared with you. There you can able to see the training case studies as well as the reference of all the Kubernetes objects.
Okay.
Yeah, Sai, you told our training is completed. From here after, what will be the procedure?
You'll be certified as a trained RevOps resource,
Okay.
and your support team will keep in touch with you. If you want to apply for any other additional trainings, we have some specialization trainings happening for DevOps and other things, cloud platform. You can able to opt for that. So, anyways, your support team will be in touch with you, okay, about your next level for certifications and all.
Okay.
So I'll just put everything under this monitoring and final document. Okay, it is a complete list which you can able to access, and along with that, I can able to add some Prometheus related things. And you want to have this project file separately? I'll do one thing. I will create a new file here. And I can keep all the scripts whatever needed. All okay, so I've uploaded all the required documents, and I strongly recommend please bookmark this page. I mean, what do you call that? Fork this repository first of all. Okay, if you fork it, it will be available in your account permanently. Data changes. Got it? Hope you can hear me. Yeah, fork it once. And if already forked, just click on sync fork and keep the changes in sync with your repository. So any questions, guys, please let me know.
Sorry, there is a big confusion that if you want to just start with your just text, how can we?
Sorry. Hello.
If you want to like text or else at least call, whatever it may be, how can we connect with you?
We'll do that. I'll share that. Just
Yeah, because it will be like it will be better way if we can directly contact with you, and I think you understood my concern.
Sai, can we leave now? Or if anything not to be discussed, then hello?
yeah, sure. No, don't worry about it. Okay. Even once we're done with the training, you'll be part of the team. Okay. So support team will create a group and you'll be there. And yes, so you'll be getting notification from support team on this about the certifications and all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be also part of that. Don't worry. So any other questions, guys? Yeah, no problem. If you are done, you can log off. I don't have any problem. If you have any questions, I'm waiting for your questions now. So hope these sessions are progressive, right? From day one, guys.
Yes, yes.
Yes, everything is all right, but when I see that code, like, I just get confused. Like,
What is that confusion?
I mean, which you will keep as a default, right? No, like, I just want to know that there won't be a same scenario. Like, if we got the new job, there will be no same procedure like which we did. If
No,
we go for new one, which we create by our own, if like we want to create a user, like there will be some different kind of things for different Linux machines, or like if we create it in any other environment, that would be different, right?
no,
Like
not like
where we
that.
can.
Not like that. Not like that. See, if you want, you can able to focus on the scripting first of all. Like
Yeah.
just take care of the fundamentals of Linux. Okay. And then fundamentals of Python scripting.
Mhm.
So this fundamental Linux covers your basic as well as admin level activities. It will be there. So did I
Yeah.
share any document for Linux for you people?
You send one link, I think. So that,
So I'll do one thing. I'll share one reference material for Linux. You can make use of it. Okay. I'll upload in a source code repository right away.
like cheat sheet.
It's a kind of reference material.
Okay.
So if you go through that, then it will clarify all your doubts. There is no issues with it. It's not like, see, it's all practice only, yeah. Today you
Mhm.
learned about Docker, Kubernetes and all, right?
Yeah.
So what if down the line after 5 years, there is no thing called Kubernetes? Definitely there will be alternative will come and go, right? Technology is just, it changes at any point of time.
Yeah.
So you should be adaptable. That is what the main point.
Okay.
Let me upload one file for you for Linux.
You need to update accordingly.
Sometimes, you can see some people who are working for a same organization for more than 10 years or 15 years. Have you faced anyone like that? A person will be working for a company for more than 10 years and 15 years also, 20 years also.
Yeah. Some guys have.
So do you think for the whole 20 years they were working on the same technology and same tools?
No. They told like I was working in some 4 and 5 projects and 5
Huh.
accounts. Like,
So what it mean there actually? So the company will not recruit you for a specific tool or a technology. They will
yeah.
check your caliber, how much you are adaptable, how much you can quickly learn things and adapt to the new technology. That is what they expect. So if
Mhm.
you have that mindset, you don't need to worry about anything. Okay. I've uploaded 2 more documents for Linux for your reference. You can make use of it.
Okay, sir. Sorry. Hello.
Got it, right? So those 2 documents, it's available. You can refer. Yeah, that's same. That's right. This one.
Sorry, I have one doubt.
Yep.
It's not doubt, actually, clarification.
Before that, I can see a lot of static. There is some background noise here. Could you please check from your end, like, or connect from your mobile?
Okay.
I think you connect from laptop and it is in speaker mode, right?
No, actually. Okay, I have connected from mobile.
Yeah, please.
Am I audible? Sorry, no.
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. So my doubt is that whether I'll get calls like 0 to 1 years. So actually, my doubt is that.
Your overall experience of 0 to 1 years, or like you are a complete
No,
or what? Like
just
you have
I'm planning to just actually 2 months less for 2 years. Actually, we had a discussion yesterday.
2 months. Yeah, almost 2 years, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you can highlight yourself as the 2 years of experience resource. What's wrong?
So
And
actually,
even I told you to try internal, right? Within a company, I asked you to try, right? For
yes,
your
yes.
current level. What's wrong?
The doubt is that only whether I get calls like 0 to 1 year. So
See,
there's
you can try from both the ends, but the first
okay.
priority you can try internally within your organization. You have
Yeah,
an opportunity ready. That's what he told you, right? So you can able to try that first,
yeah.
and in the meantime, upload your profile, and you can highlight yourself as a 2 years of resource also, no problem.
Okay.
Because you have a
Okay.
valid payroll, right?
So
You can,
actually, my role is like software engineer.
no, that is fine. That is completely fine. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, in your resume, don't mention software engineer if you're applying outside. You can
Okay,
simply
sure.
mention as a DevOps associate and apply, put the profile. Because first your
Okay,
profile
sure.
will be shortlisted. If a company is looking for a DevOps resource and if you're mentioning as a software engineer means your profile itself will not get selected, right?
Yes.
So on
Yes.
your
Because
profile,
at
don't
least
mention anywhere like software engineer.
yes.
First,
Okay.
once your profile is in, then you can able to talk about that.
Yes. Yes. There we need to prove ourselves.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yes, I understand. And for this gap, I can say like,
Yeah.
so I already said that yesterday. I think you remember we talked like
Yeah,
this.
that's what you can genuinely say the reason. That's all.
Okay, okay. So I also want to move like officially, but not unofficially.
Yeah, that
I
is what.
don't.
That's what. I got your point.
Okay.
Alright, so I don't have anything now. So I just uploaded all the required documents. I've added few more reference materials also in the repository. So hope it will be helpful for you to prepare for interview as well as for your core concepts. Hmm?
Yes.
So if you have any queries, you can stay back. Otherwise, I don't want to hold your time.
Nothing, sir. The only thing we want to discuss it. If anything we stuck somewhere, it
Yeah,
will
we'll be
be
yeah, no problem. We'll be there in contact. Don't worry. I'll share those details in the upcoming.
okay, sir. That is my concern actually. So
Yeah,
that's
no
okay.
problem. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's been a great session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sai. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.